understanding of what it's like for, apart from pavlova, but what I don't know nothing about what it's like for Maoris in New Zealand. And could you
Yeah.
tell us a bit about what it's like and how things have changed in more detail?
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, it's so diverse, especially when it comes to our culture. So there's so many different, different groups within the culture. Like say, for instance, there's educated Maori, which grew up in the schools, and a lot of them were educated in the language and the culture. There's dudes like me, like we're kind of like I say we're like street Maoris. We grew up in those suburban environments, sort of low income
Mm.
and low income housing, all that sort of stuff, gangs and the violence. And then there's the ones that grew up on the marae and all that sort of stuff. So it's different, but I think we're moving in the right direction. One of the biggest things was I think in the past, it might have been like 6, 7 years ago, people will start popping up with the traditional Māori tattoos on the face. For the men, it's the tā moko, and for the women, it's the moko kauai, which is just in the chin area. And about five or let's say about 10 years ago, it was almost unseen, or there were only certain people that would have it. Man, nowadays it's a lot common. So when it was first coming out, a lot of people complained about it. Even people in public, especially Pākehā people, which is white people. New Zealand call them Pākehā.
Oh,
That's the Māori name for it. Yeah, and so with Pākehā people, a lot of them got offended by the facial tattoos and all that sort of stuff, and it caused a big debacle. Even though it is part of our culture, but you fast forward like to nowadays, bro, and it's like everywhere. Yeah, you go into town, there's heaps of traditional tattooing, people's faces are done, and it just goes to show that in some ways we are moving forward and we're starting to embrace aspects of the culture that we didn't previously. Yeah, but the same problems for our culture, they still exist, bro. Just like the Aborigines and that, like gangs, alcohol, drug abuse, all that sort of thing. But in saying that, we are moving forward and we're sort of we're doing well in that department. Yeah, getting better and better. I think I'm not too sure what the statistics are like now, but for quite some time we were kind of like, even though we have a minority in New Zealand, we were the ones that sort of had the biggest population in the prisons and stuff like that.
oh.
But as a people, we're coming together and we're trying to fix all that and trying to push our culture and move forward. Yeah.
Mhm. And yeah, the only other thing that I know about Maori culture is the rugby thing, the haka. That's all I know as well. So,
Yeah. Yeah, well, see, even that, bro, like, for the country to be able to embrace that, because it is actually part of the Māori culture, but we use it in our national rugby side as well. And bro, that's another cool way to describe how our culture is moving forward is, man, I love it when you see the haka in rugby and in the rugby league, because now the teams are made up of so many different cultures. There's so many Pacificas that are born in New Zealand now. There's Maori, Pākehā, and then you get a team like the All Blacks, and everybody does the haka. That doesn't depend on your cultural background. I think sort of like New Zealand's embracing the culture to the point where a lot of the Maori culture is becoming part of the New Zealand identity, and it's kind of okay for all New Zealanders to embrace it, especially even the language. Yeah, you don't have to be Maori to speak the reo. Yeah, you can be any nationality really.
okay. No. Um, what's what so things are changed for the better and things are getting in a right place. But slowly you can see like little progress.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So there's still protesting, there's still issues with the government, and they're still working on trying to right the wrongs from back in the day. But yeah, I think as a collective, the culture is doing really well. Yeah, to come together because we haven't always managed to come together in the past because really primarily New Zealand is just made up of like tribes that come from all different areas.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, everybody's got their own opinions and their own ways of doing things, and yeah, I think we're finally getting to that stage where everybody's coming together and everybody's working quite well.
Hmm. Is And okay. Um, and the grudges are setting aside, are they, from the different groups?
Yeah, yeah. New Zealand's actually it's quite multicultural, but then so it's probably where you come from,
Oh
eh?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. London is a complete melting pot of everything. I mean, I went to New York. There is a lot of mixes, but it seems that the mix is a lot more narrow. Whilst in London, it is completely everything.
Yeah. I bet. Dude, do you actually do comedy? You do comedy?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Hey.
do it. I do it as a character. I play. Oh, for
Oh,
God's
your
sake,
character comedy, cool.
I play Asian Zorro. But
That
it's
sounds interesting.
yeah, it's an interesting little thing. He's I just play around with it. I get a lot of heckles because of the outfit being completely ridiculous, and a lot of mad things happen. When you do an act that's a bit mad and out there, you're very Marmite. People either really like it or they're like. I had one guy, and he's a big Cockney geezer, and he says to me, he goes, "Listen, mate, you were fucking funny. You were awesome. This is good." And he goes to me and says, I didn't get it, mate."
Yeah. Because even when I clicked on the podcast you do on your page and I was listening to it, and I didn't actually realize that you were like, I didn't even know you're called over there, man. Like you're from England or if you're from UK. But as soon as I jumped on, I could hear and you jumped on, and yeah, as soon as I heard the accent, I was like, oh shit, this dude's the real deal. You're the accent and everything, yeah. So my accent must sound strange, but I guess, bro, you probably get like heaps of Kiwis over there anyway, eh?
I get a lot of I'll be honest, most of the Kiwis that I come across, yeah, just white Kiwis, but
Oh,